It's all about setting yourself up for success instead of setting yourself up for failure. That's the trick, guys. Hey there, Coach Devin here. All right, so you're trying to cut some calories, you want to lose some weight, and you're having some challenges with it because it's not as easy to cut the calories as you thought it was. You're like, oh, this is tough. How am I doing this? Well, I have 3 simple ways that I cut calories when I want to get leaner, and they work really, really well. We're going to talk about those right about now. Before we get going, hit that subscribe down below and hit that bell as well. The bell allows you to get a notification when I make a new video because I like to make videos. I make 5 or 6 of them every week, and those videos are about health and fitness predominantly. The reason I make these videos is I've been in the health and fitness industry now as a trainer for 28 years. It's been a little while, and that's why I have so much gray in my beard. And I've owned a gym for 11 years. So I know a little bit about health and fitness. I always like to say that that's the one thing I know something about is health and fitness. And predominantly what I work on and what we work on in my gym is helping people lose weight and get more fit. Get their body back, feel good again, get comfortable. I try to put forward really good, honest, scientific information here because the internet's full of garbage. So please hit that subscribe down below, hit the bell, and also please share this with your friends because you know what? Let's help other people get more fit and not make mistakes that I've seen lots of clients make and I've made myself. All right, so cutting calories. It is not as hard as you think to cut calories if you have some plans. All right, and I actually use 3 things when I want to cut calories down. If I want to get a little leaner, I'm like, okay, and I'm actually in the middle of that right now. I was 245, 248 pounds right before Christmas, and I decided, all right, Dev, enough is enough. You got to get a little bit leaner. I do enjoy being a little leaner. One of the things for me that's a challenge is I like being big. I like being strong. It makes me feel good. But at the same time, it's not really reasonable. So I've decided, you know what, let's be a little bit more reasonable. We're going to cut some weight down. So I've lost about 13, 14 pounds. These are some of the tricks that I have used for this. Number 1, seems really simple, eat less food. And that seems like an easy one, and everybody goes, oh, come on, Devin, that's not a trick. It actually is. What you do is cut about 15 to 20% out of each of your meal sizes. So your portion size that you normally would eat, figure out what you normally would eat, take 15 to 20% of that away. You actually won't notice it that much. And that's the funny thing. You quite often are eating until you're stuffed. Everybody does it. I do it too. You eat too much food. Well, you know what? Eat until you're satiated, not until you're stuffed. And the easiest way to do that is not have a pile of food on your plate. If you have a ton of food on your plate in front of you, what are you going to do? You'll eat it because your parents have told you, hey, listen, eat all your food. It's important to eat your food. So then you eat your food. If you fill your plate with food, bad things can happen. It means you'll end up overeating, and you don't want to overeat. You want to undereat a little bit. You want to cut some of those calories out, so just take 20% of it away, 15% even. That 15% over every single meal will cut 15 to 20, depending on a percent of your calories away every day. Now, if you're somebody who's eating 2,000 calories a day, guess what? You've cut a lot. 10% of those calories, 200 calories. Well, if you cut 20, that's 400 calories. It's a lot, but you're not doing it in a huge, you know, I'm going to cut out an entire meal or something stupid, and you're starving or anything else. You're cutting out a bit. Just cut down a little bit. You don't have to go crazy. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, but what we want to do is cut just a bit out of every single day and every single meal. Heck, it could be 10%. If you cut 10% out of that, you will cut 10% of the calories you're eating. Like I said, 2,000 calorie diet, 10% of that is 200 every day. That's pretty darn good. The end of a week, multiply that, it's 1,400 calories. In, you know, a week and a half, you've lost a pound of fat. It's that easy. That's how simple this is. It's really not that hard, but you do have to do it day in and day out. And what goes hand in hand with that is knowing how many calories you're actually getting. Measure your food. That's number 2. Measure your food. All right, look, everybody says, oh, I know how much I'm eating, Devin. I'm eating a cup of this. And I'm like, okay, have you measured it? And they say, no. And I'm like, if you're eyeballing it, you're eating more than you think you are. And we are all guilty of this. I'm guilty of this too. I think I know what a cup of oatmeal is. However, I can guarantee you, because I've done it a bunch of different times, and you know what, I still don't seem to learn my lesson. If I say I'm going to eyeball a cup of oatmeal or half a cup of oatmeal and I put it in a bowl, and then I try to do it again with a scooper, right, with a half a cup or a cup of oatmeal, dry oatmeal in there, I can guarantee you one thing. I've done it a bunch of times, and one of these days I'm going to make a YouTube video about it because it's actually kind of crazy. You actually will always go too high. I have never gone less. I always go too much, and usually it's about 25%, give or take, that I'm above. So if I think I have a cup, it's 1.25. If I think I have half a cup, this is how it works. It's about 25% that you underestimate. And when you're underestimating, bad things will happen because you're putting more calories into your system. So a really easy way to do it is measure your food. Now I understand you're like, Dev, that's boring. I don't like measuring my food. It's a pain in the ass. I do not disagree. But if you measure your food for a couple days, you'll get a better idea when you're eyeballing it. And what I like to do is, measure it once a week. One day a week, you measure your food. Outside that, don't measure it. Don't worry about it. But if you measure one day a week, you'll get into the habit of being like, okay, that's pretty cool. I know what that is right now here when I measure it. Then the next couple days, you'll be able to do it right. You'll be able to eyeball it. It's not too bad. Then, 5-6 days later, you measure it again. It keeps it in front of the mind. It keeps it going in the direction you want it to go, and it keeps you honest. Because if you're like me, and it's been with every client I've ever had, you always think you're having less than you're actually having. So you can get rid of calories really easily if you learn how many calories you're having, which is why I'm such a big fan of having people measure their food sometimes and keeping track of their calories, because you need to know. You can't eyeball it every time. Listen, I've been doing this, like I said, for 28 years. I've been a trainer. I can't eyeball it. I think I can eyeball it, but every time I eyeball it, I'm always like 20-25% off. So if I'm 20-25% off, you're probably 20-25% off, and you're going to be too high, and guess what happens? You eat way more calories than you think you are. So it's actually super simple. Cut out some of your food, number one, and number two, measure your food so you have an idea of actually what you're eating, and then you can track it better. It's actually pretty simple. And my third one is one I really like. It works well, and what I do is I front load, or I should say I back load my calories. During the day when you're busy, you're not sitting around being hungry. You're just not. I'm at work. I got things to do. Usually, I don't have a ton of time to eat. I eat kind of quickly. So what I tend to do is I plan my day. So I'll be like, okay, I'm going to have breakfast. I'll have a snack around 10 o'clock. I'll eat lunch around 12 or 1. Have another snack, say, around 4. Then I have supper. Then I probably will have a snack afterwards. But I can guarantee something will come up in that period, and I'm going to miss one of those snacks. I probably will every day. And that's not a bad thing, because you know what? If I'm at work and I'm like super busy, I don't think about being hungry. When I'm at home, I think about food all the time. All the time, I'm always hungry when I'm home. Well, if I've gone lower on my calories during the day because I've been busy and I've had things to do and I don't eat as many calories during the day, I can have a few more calories at night and feel full. It's a real simple way of doing it. Again, if you have a 2,000 calorie diet, for example, right? And you're eating 2,000 calories, that's the plan. You're eating 2,000 calories every day. If you've only eaten, 1,200 by the time you come home, well, guess what? You have a lot of calories, 800 calories. 800 calories, by the way, of healthy food is a lot of food. It is a ton of food. So you can actually backload your calories. It's harder to eat them all. It really is, because during the day, if I'm a little bit hungry, I don't really care. When I'm at home at night and I'm a little bit hungry, I'm probably going to eat everything I can get my hands on, because it's there and because I don't have as much to do. And I'm just like, I'm going to have some food. I feel a lot better in those situations if I have had fewer calories during the day, because I've known I've prepped myself. So I eat fewer calories, say, until about 5, and then I have 800, 900 calories, 750 that I can eat at night. Well, you know what? A good-sized meal at supper is a healthy food, 450 calories, and you're pretty full. Still leaves me like 300 calories I can play with. So I'm hungry after that, or I feel like I want to be peckish, like I get into sometimes. I can do that too. It's all about setting yourself up for success instead of setting yourself up for failure. That's the trick, guys. Set yourself up for success. So eating fewer during the day, when you're at work and you're busy and your mind is other places and you're not worrying about it, you come home and you have extra calories to spend at night, guess what? You can eat them. You can eat them, you can feel pretty full, you can feel comfortable, and you know what? You're not sitting around starving at night, because the worst thing you can have, I swear to God, for me anyway, is coming home at night and having eaten 75, 80% of my calories already for the day, and I'm hungry. That's bad, because now I'm like, oh, I want some food. I want some food now. That's not good. So you don't want to get into that one. So backloading your calories, having fewer during the day when you're busy and you're not thinking about it, allows you to have some more at night, which makes you feel good. Feels like you had a whole ton of food for the day. You feel great. And guess what? You still haven't gone over your calories. So those are 3 simple tricks that I use to cut calories down and be smarter about how much you're eating. What are some things you use? I'm very curious to see what other people do to cut their calories. Lots of people have good ideas, so write them up down below. I'd love to hear them in the comments. Have yourself an amazing day, everybody. Don't fight the awesome.